President Sandoval, it's such an honor to have you here with us at TEDxReno. You are unique in that you have held every office in our state government: executive, legislative, judicial, and now education, which some say is the fourth branch of government. Can you please tell us a little bit about how you got here?
No, and thank you. And first, thank you for the opportunity to be a guest today. It is so humbling and an honor to be amongst so many great speakers, and plus, I love Reno, so it's a great opportunity. But where did it come from? So I actually grew up in Sparks, but before we moved to Sparks, we had moved 5 times as a little boy, and we moved to Sparks when I was 7. And in Sparks, I raised sheep. That's how selling sheep was how I bought my first car, a 71 Volkswagen Bug. I wish I still had that car, and paid for my tuition at the university. And I was very blessed to have wonderful parents that were very supportive, that expected a lot of hard work and had high expectations for my brother and my sister and I. And I will tell you, I tell people my first job was cleaning sheep pens. And I also told them that it was good practice for politics. Yeah, but in any event, when as a kid, it never occurred to me living, where we did on a dirt road in rural Sparks, that I would have the opportunity to do the things that I've done with regard to public service. And I think a lot of it, how did I get here, was a lot of encouragement from my parents and from my family, a willingness to take risks and be willing to fail, be willing to have people who tell you, no, or you can't do this, to have it within you to try anyway, regardless of the consequences. So throughout my career in public service, and maybe we'll chat a little bit about it some more in a moment, but, had a lot of people who really provided support and love for me along the way that has allowed me to have a career in public service, which was a dream come true for me in terms of being in a position where I could really make a difference in people's lives. Yeah.
You are the first Hispanic president of the University of Nevada, Reno. Can you tell me a little bit about how your ethnicity weighs into your journey and share about your vision for diversity for the university?
Of course. And I think it's important when I talk about my background is first, I mentioned, my parents, and, I just lost my dad a few months ago, but, they were both native New Mexicans. My mom grew up in a little 2-bedroom adobe house in Albuquerque, New Mexico. My dad was one of 10 children, and his family, nobody, it was just a big challenge with all of them. And as I said, we moved around a lot when I was a little kid, and when we ultimately landed in Sparks, and this is in the very early 70s, there weren't a lot of Latinos in Washoe County. And my parents had made a decision not to teach us Spanish because they thought it would be better for us. And so we, as I said, that was something that was always important to me. And listening to one of the speakers today, is making sure everybody has an opportunity no matter where you come from. And just one short anecdote. So what really launched me in my public service career is I had the opportunity, and hopefully this rings a bell with some people, or most people, is Senator Paul Laxalt was a U.S. Senator. And I interned for him in 1984 and got to go to Washington, D.C. And I never understood why I got picked because, my dad was a technician in the federal government. My mom was a legal secretary. We didn't have politicians in our family. There were no professionals in our family. And this is a lesson that I tell our students. So I had written an essay as to why I'd like to be an intern for him. And in that essay, I had written that I raised sheep. And, unbeknownst to me, his father was a sheep herder who had immigrated from the Basque Country. And he never told me this, but somebody else told me this, that he read my essay, sheep herder, he's in. So I got to go on this journey, but I tell the students, and I think that's one of the messages here, be proud of who you are and be proud of where you come from and be proud of your family and, be, I guess embrace all of it. And I would have never had, because I was embarrassed, when I'd go to school and I'd smell like sheep. And I was embarrassed about that, but I thought I should tell about myself. And that's what really really launched me to start creating relationships to be able to get into public service.
Thank you. So during your time as governor of Nevada, you focused on economic development. What was your underlying philosophy that was guiding you? And please give us examples of how you turned your ideas into results.
Yeah. No, and as I mentioned, I love this place. And I love this region and I love this state and everything, again, for what I've become, it's because of the people that I've met and the mentors that I've had. But I remember when I was elected, it was 2010, and we were in the worst recession in the history of our state. We had almost 15% unemployment. Over 200,000 people had lost their jobs. And I remember there was an article in the Reno Gazette-Journal, and respectfully to Detroit, but it said Reno, the Detroit of the West, because Reno had been hit so hard. And I knew, and this wasn't rocket science in terms of we needed to diversify our economy. We had to do something different. And so, we could talk for a really long time about this, but we started to have these opportunities to bring Apple, to bring Tesla, to bring Google, to bring Amazon, the list goes on and on. And so that was my number one priority, to diversify this economy and bring new jobs, but not just jobs, but good paying jobs, to give opportunity, for all of you and your families that we wouldn't have otherwise had. So that was really the driving force in all of it, to provide opportunity to everybody. And yes, there was a lot of negotiation. We had to do some things to get them here. But I always say there are 49 other states who would trade places with us in a heartbeat to get the economic development that we've gotten. And I know it's brought challenges with regard to affordability, because we were even more successful than ever thought that we were going to be. And, that's something that we want to contribute to now. But that was really the driving force, is to really provide us with a modern economy that would stand the test of time as we move forward into the new economy. Thank you.
And now you're looking to expand these ideas through your role at the University of Nevada. How can a university have an economic impact on a city or region?
Yeah, thank you. First, go Pack. Do we have how many folks do we have from? All right. Yeah. Wolfpack family all the way. But another pillar as governor and throughout my public service career was education, and really improving our education system in the state. And, I wear this proudly that, we raised taxes when I was governor, but every cent of that went into improve education and to provide, again, opportunity for our students. But in any event, now there was an opportunity to serve as president of this university, and I am the first graduate to serve as president of the University of Nevada, Reno. And I tell people it's like moving into the house that you grew up in. You just, you're very familiar with it. But, and I've told the city council this, I've told the mayor this, a great university needs a great city, and a great city needs a great university. And you heard all our graduates that are out here. It's really important to me during my term that first of all, that we provide a curriculum and opportunities for our students so that when they prepare themselves for this new economy, that they have opportunities as they move on. And in order to do that, we have to continue to invest in the university. So we are a Carnegie High Research University. What does that mean? We're one of the top 120 research universities in the country. We're a Tier 1 university, and we're continuing to invest in the student experience up there. But up on the hill right behind us, I guess not too far away. But I'm going to continue to work really hard to strengthen even more the connections between the university and this community. I want it to be a university. I think we're all proud of this university, but I'm convinced that we can become one of the best universities in the United States of America, and that it will be a destination campus for students to come here.
I love
Thank
that.
you. Yeah.
Thank you so much for your insight and for being with us today. Do you have any closing remarks for us?
Yes, thank you. I'm just overwhelmed at this event and overwhelmed at the speakers. And two examples. So two of the speakers that were just here, Dr. Curry Winchell and Dennis Ferris, they're both graduates of the University of Nevada. And you heard about Dr. Curry Winchell and what she's accomplished, and we are so proud of her and what she's accomplished upon her graduation from the UNR Medical School. But Dennis didn't have enough time to talk. He built that business from his garage. He and his partner. And he and his partner got their MBAs from UNR and have built this company that's going to be the next big thing. So I guess my point would be, the point is this, is that, based on our conversation, you can be whatever it is you want to be and be proud of who you are and where you come from. Obviously, you have to work for it. You have to take some risks. You have to be willing to fail. You have to be, and another word that I heard during the conversations was trust, and conduct yourself with integrity and be an individual that people trust. You have to be willing to, as I said, take chances and make mistakes and own up to those mistakes as you move on, and just be honest with people. I am really blessed in my life. My wonderful wifey is out there somewhere. Laurelyn, where are you? Raise your hand. But anyway, she graduated from the University of Nevada and has an amazing job and has had an amazing career because of what she learned there. So we're lucky to live in this community, and we're lucky to live in this state. We're lucky to have people like you put events like this together so we can really become aware of what we have. I truly believe we live in one of the most special places in the United States of America. So thank you very, very much. I really appreciate it. Yeah.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Thank you very much.
Thank you. Thank you.